What's up, everyone? Thralls and Metal here once again. I'm Necrotic Nick, and we got an album review brought to you courtesy of Screaming Toilet. Once again, it's a cool website, lots of cool pop culture sort of stuff in there, album reviews, movie reviews, show reviews, toy reviews. Check it out. So today I'm reviewing Pale Grey Lore's second full-length album, Eschatology. This comes out on Small Stone Records, and these guys are from Columbus, Ohio, which my home state, so of course you gotta check them out. And this is one of the bands that I saw at the Ohio Doomed and Stone Fest, so thought it'd be a good idea to review these guys' new albums since I already saw them live. So the album opens up with Sunken Cities. It's a nice tension build in terms of the intro. It's a nice clean guitar over some synths, and then it goes right into the song, which is straight up stoner metal. Really well executed, lots of cool lead melodies in there, vocal harmonies. Really checks all the boxes for good stoner metal, in my opinion. And then we move into the next track, which kind of moves into a different sect of stoner metal in terms of desert rock. This one has kind of a classic feel like Caius, Fu Manchu, and early Queens of the Stone Age. It's noticeably more upbeat than the previous song, a little bit faster, and I kind of like the fact that they shifted around the tempo on this and didn't try to go with another song very similar to it, so it's good pacing there already. Before the Fall, the third track is probably one of my favorites on the album. This is where I started hearing little bits of influences, probably coming from 90s alternative and grunge, so there's parts in there that reminded me of Soundgarden, or even Alice in Chains, or Pearl Jam. But also, kind of along that same spectrum, you hear stuff that's kind of Melvins-ish, or even kind of Torch, because some of these songs are noticeably very accessible and catchy and almost poppy in some way. But it doesn't really detract from the stoner metal feel on most of these songs. Now it kind of started losing me around Waiting for the Dawn. This is a more acoustic number, and while I think the music was really good on this, it's a really awesome melody and it's really catchy. The vocals are kind of exposed on this, and that's where I ran into some issues there. They're not particularly strong enough to carry a song like this. It needs a more dynamic voice, and this guy, while serviceable and pretty good, not in this moment particularly because it just feels a little flat, and the fact that they're still using a lot of reverb on the vocals didn't really work for me, especially on this song, because generally acoustic songs you kind of want to strip things bare a bit and make it sound more natural. That just sounded like there's too many effects on there. What I did think was cool about this song was we get a little surf rock guitar solo or lead in there, and it really stands out as this cool moment here, and then once again bring in a bunch of different influences that I think is pretty imaginative. Another one I thought was a really good standout in here was Void Cursed. This one had more of a metal feel to it than most of the other tracks. This one opens up with a cool doomy riff, but at the same time there is a lead melody on top that is almost kind of playful and poppy. I really enjoyed the contrast in terms of, you know, how the two guitars are playing off of each other there, and it really stood out as a dynamic moment in the song. This one also has gigantic, huge riffs, and like I said, a distinctly metal feel to it. So this one really stood out to me as one of the heavier tracks on here, and it really just drove home. Like, it was a solid song from start to finish. I really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, it kind of lost me with Silent Command. It almost sounds like the theme to the Munsters in parts, but it's also kind of like a heavy, moody blues song. It really stands out, and not in a great way, because it just kind of contrasts the rest of the album. This one's just kind of strange, and I know, you know, they wanted to probably experiment a little bit and broaden their horizons and their sound overall, but this one really stuck out as maybe it pushed a little too far. There's really no hook in it for me, and it just kind of stands out as a sore thumb on this album for me. But then they kind of bring it back with the next track, Underminded, which I really enjoyed. That one has the Thin Lizzy guitar play that I love so much. Lots of cool harmonies, really awesome driving rhythm. It almost kind of reminded me a little bit of Thin Lizzy's Emerald a bit, which is one of my favorite classic rock songs ever. Now the closer starts off really well. I really enjoyed how the verses were over a clean tone, and then went into this gigantic, heavy, doomy stoner section. And this one had all sorts of cool dynamics, but at the 4-minute mark of a 6.5-minute song, roughly, it just pretty much abruptly stops, and it goes into this synthy outro with what sound like wind chimes on it, and I couldn't help but to feel that maybe they just didn't know how to end this song properly, or they wanted to go for something a little bit more artsy, a la Radiohead-ish on this. I don't know why this was there. And the fact that this was the closing song that should be the grand close, or the one that seals the deal and just, brings it all home, really left me kind of wanting a little bit more out of this song. Overall, I'm going to give this a 3.5. The songs that I really liked on here, I really enjoyed, and it's definitely checks all the hallmarks of stoner metal, and it's very melody driven. There's a lot of hooks across it, but some of the more experimental songs kind of lost me on there. Sometimes experimentation is great, you find a whole new sound, and sometimes it doesn't work out, and it kind of stands out as these little moments that didn't work on what could have been a solid album across the board. So, if you like the review, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, sub. We do shit like this all the time. Look for more reviews coming from Screaming Toilet. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming from them, and a whole bunch of other different videos coming as well. Catch you guys later.